ID, call forwarding, call waiting, and call blocking.
I think it's time you cut the blue wire.
Cut the blue wire. Save up to $250 on your phone features with RevVoice. Get RevVoice. Save money.
Coming up tonight on our news.
A coalition of healthcare and insurance professionals have banded together to reject NHI. That story coming up in news.
The Minister of Education outlines the next steps for the Freedom of Information Act. That story straight ahead.
A former Baha Mar director hits out at the development's contractors, charging that the Chinese have let the resort rot.
I'm Christina McNeil. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, it seems government has an even bigger problem on its hands than the delay of national health insurance. Healthcare and insurance professionals who have repeatedly voiced concerns about NHI today announced they have formed a coalition of more than 2,000 members. Jasmine Brown tells us more.
The Alliance says while they agree with the concept of universal health care, they cannot agree with NHI in its current form. The coalition of 9 professional healthcare groups has come together to form the United Healthcare Reform Alliance. Today, their first order of business was to announce their rejection of the government's proposed national health insurance model.
The UHRA has taken the position that in its current form, the NHI model is flawed. And so if it remains this way, and there are no changes or the contributions of the stakeholders are not considered or incorporated into the plan, there's no desire to sign on.
MAB President Dr. Cy Coolidge-Pierre says they are currently working on an alternative plan for universal health care that they plan to present to the government in about 2 months.
If they say they're not going to work with us, and they say they are not going to do what we do, then an organization like this, we will come and explain to the Bahamian people that don't call us greedy, gravelicious doctors who are working in the public every day. Understand that we are here working. We presented a viable plan that we are willing to work. All of us are taking haircuts. We've been taking haircuts for years. That's nothing new.
The Alliance also has serious concerns about the draft NHI bill, particularly the extensive powers of the minister and what they call the intrusive powers of the proposed NHI authority.
We cannot stand for this because our patients are in our care. We've established a long-term relationship with them, private and public. And, you know, what is going to happen to the patient when your physician or your primary care physician of 30, 40 years now is no longer able to take part in this, in the current format of the universal health care? What is that going to do for the care of that patient who now has to go and find someone else who they may not feel comfortable with, who does not have all of their medical records? They have to start all over again. Is that really benefiting the patient? I don't think so.
Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez announced recently that the rollout of the primary care phase of NHI would take another 6 months. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, unpatriotic is how Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts described the involvement of politicians in the landfill protests that took place on Sunday. Well, today, one of those leaders strikes back. Our Giorgio Bain has more.
DNA leader Brownville McCartney clapped back at PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts, who asserted that the actions of those political leaders involved in Sunday's protests were unpatriotic. Well, McCartney urged Roberts to take several seats.
Where does he get off at? Who does he think he is? Of all people, he should really, of all people, he should keep his mouth shut. What a disgrace to even have him as the chairman of the PLP.
Roberts put political leaders who participated in the demonstration against recent dump fires on blast yesterday. He asserted, while all Bahamians are fully aware of the many fires over the years and are in unanimous agreement on the urgent need for remediation at the public landfill, I question the intent and utility of staging the demonstration at or near the precincts of the Baha Mar resort. However, McCartney insisted protesters chose that location for a reason.
Of course, we wanted to get the attention of the government. The government obviously over the many months and years, have not listened to what the Bahamian people had to say. Let me repeat, this protest was not a political protest. This protest was not organized by the DNA or the FNM. This protest was organized by Rabble. The DNA supported the protests.
During a news conference at his Village Road law firm, McCartney revealed that he will be bringing a class action lawsuit against the government.
A class action suit is a representative type suit where a group of persons get together for a common cause and to sue the government. So that's going to happen. This law firm, Horsby Chambers, will be the attorneys leading that charge.
McCartney invites all residents affected by recurring dump fires to contact Halsbury Chambers. Reporting for our news, I am Georgia Bain.
In other news, police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a man who was shot in Fox Hill last night. According to police, a man was standing in front of a home on Peak Street shortly after 10 p.m. when he was approached by another man armed with a handgun. Reports are the gunman opened fire before fleeing on foot. The victim was rushed to hospital where he died around 5 a.m. this morning. Police are asking anyone with information to contact them at 919-911 or 328-TIPS. Well, former Baha Mar director Dionisio de Aguilar today lashing out at the mega resorts contractor China Construction America, charging that they clearly aren't doing a thing to get the development open. Dana Smith reports.
Charging that the Chinese have let Baha Mar rot, de Aguilar said is merely in regaining control at the resort could prove beneficial to the economy as well as this Christie administration's chances at re-election. But he said it could take upwards to 1 year before the resort is opened.
The Chinese clearly have not delivered. Period. They have not delivered. They've done nothing. They've just let it sit there and rot. So the time has come for us to everybody to line up behind Ismailian and to give him a good shove, and he's saying all the right things.
China Construction America President Daniel Liu had said, unlike Baha Mar, CCA is both the contractor and the developer for The Point, an upcoming downtown hotel, and so it will make sure the project is 100% funded, done on time, and with great quality, suggesting things at The Point will go quite differently than what happened at Baha Mar. But de Aguilar said during his tenure at Baha Mar, the board had to make attempts to spur the company to action.
I was at the board table. From the time I sat at that board table for the period that I did, we were constantly beating up on CCA to hire more people, get additional people on the project. The project was always behind. They weren't hitting deadlines. So for them to say that they are not the reason why this project was delayed is just completely disingenuous.
As for when exactly Baha Mar will open, if Ismailian is successful in his bid, de Aguilar said it could take anywhere from 9 months to a full year.
You've got, cosmetic things to do, but you've got to rebuild the brand. You've got to get the staff rehired. People are going to be much more skeptical. I left my job once. I'm not going to leave my job again. It's going to be a much more difficult sell.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Dana Smith.
After the break, a $2 million drug bust. Stay with us.